And Boosie knew he was going to have to own up to what he did because at the end of the day, the charges that they put on him, he knew for a fact that he couldn't fight that. And this is the main reason why he had to take the plea deal, because everybody knows at the end of the day that Duke the Jeweler got set up, and the only person that literally needed the $1 million, like the exact amount that Duke had in jewelry, Boosie ordered the jewelry from Duke. He was supposed to come down there, show it to him, and Boosie was supposed to make the purchase. But why is it that when Duke the Jeweler pulled up, they kept delaying him, saying, "Yeah, we gonna look at the jewelry and buy it in tonight, the next night," until it went on and on and on. And once Duke the Jeweler, once the security guard said that he couldn't come to the VIP backstage, this is when he decided to leave the show. So he walked out the dressing room, and that's when you see the door get propped open. Right after he left, somebody put their foot in the door so it didn't close all the way. And that's how they followed him through the entire parking ramps and everything like that. Like the last video, the last picture seen was the CCTV of Duke the Jeweler walking to his truck. And that's when you see the black pickup truck drive by. You hear the loud noises and you hear the tires squeal. And they ran over the gate to get out of the entire parking complex. And so people knew that Duke the Jeweler had almost $2 million worth of jewelry, cash, and all these other things because he is a jewelry business owner. And so when Boosie was supposed to be buying the $250,000 chain, the Cubans, the pendant, and everything customized, Duke the Jeweler thought that he was going to come, show the suitcase filled with jewelry to Boosie, and that Boosie was going to buy a couple AP watches, a Richard Mille, and the big chain that says Boosie Badass. So once Duke the Jeweler realized that they were like bluffing, he called his bluff. And that's when he was like, man, I got to get up out of here because these folks kept changing when they're going to meet with me, when they're going to give me the money, all this. They wanted me to give the jewelry. They told Duke the Jeweler to give the jewelry to some middleman or some dude that was going to pick it up for him. But he didn't trust that because he was not willing to give up all the jewelry without getting any kind of deposit or some sort of money, because what happens if dude runs off with it and dude calls Boosie talking about, hey, one of your boys ran off with the jewelry, and Boosie's going to say, I don't know who that is. So to prevent that, this is why Duke the Jeweler didn't want to give him anything up front, on front, or nothing like that. He knows how these rappers get down. He knows how it is in the streets, especially when you in Houston. They had a whole concert show in Houston. So at the same time, Jay Prince Jr. and all of them was supposed to be there doing security, and whoever checked in and all this and that was supposed to be get protected. But if you didn't check in or whatever, then basically it made you a marked man. So that way, if anybody was looking for a lick, it's going to be the people who didn't check in that's first to go and get got. And, this is in all actual reality, man. This is how it went down. So once Boosie told Duke to show up, Duke was thinking that we did this before. He sold jewelry to Boosie before. He didn't think there would be any type of problems or any kind of issues, altercations, or nothing like that. So this is why he drove all the way from Chicago to Texas. Anybody knows driving and truckers and distances, that's a long drive. That could be a 20-hour drive. And so they knew how long that they have to prepare, because once Duke told them, I'm on the way, I'm driving, I'm going to be like, a day and a half, or it's going to be 20 hours, then they knew they had 24 hours to run the whole play. And so this is how they set up the dice game. They told Duke the Jeweler to pull up to the dice game. Duke the Jeweler started beating him in the he came and he was like, man, I'm going to win my money back whether I sell this jewelry or whether I hit this dice game. And so that's when he started rolling sevens, 11s, hitting him. Boosie with he came out with the come out roll, and he hit him 4 or 5 times in a row for $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. So once he was up $500,000 to $600,000, and Duke the Jeweler was playing against Jay Prince. That's the only person who had that type of money to be able to put up for this dice game. And this is like, they put this dice game up, and basically so that Duke the jeweler, if he joins, he's going to show his hand on how much money he's got with him, how much cash he's got with him. So Boosie was mad Duke the jeweler beat him, and Jay Prince was mad that Duke the jeweler beat him, and he won 300K off each person. And then he's going to turn around and sell him another 200K worth of jewelry to each person. So they felt like, they giving up half a man each to Duke the jeweler. So Duke the jeweler just came and basically ran him for $1 million at this dice game, plus the profit he's going to make from the jewelry commissions. And so they got mad because Duke the jeweler beat him fair and square. And, once he was up $500,000 on each, he was like, yeah, I'm a step out this game, and I got to go to the restaurant. We got reservations and everything like that. And a lot of these dudes, especially in the streets, they do not like it when you beat them in something and you win, and you don't want to do a rematch with them for double or nothing. They always say, run it back, double or nothing, run it back, triple it up. And so what they're trying to do is they're trying to give themselves another chance to win all that money back, so that they end up saying, oh, I'm done with the game now. Once they got their money back, they're not going to let you get the rematch. So it's basically the back and forth is going on. Duke the jeweler's up $600,000 on him, and he's like, yeah, I'm done for the day. I got to go meet up and do this and wham wham. And they got heated. They felt like they got finessed, and, because at the end of the day, they didn't want to lose. They never thought they was going to lose. A lot of these dudes is very cocky and think that they run the world and that everything revolves around them. But when they finally get beat in life by somebody who played their cards right and did the smart decision, when they get beat by those guys, they feel like the inferiority complex comes out. They start becoming self-conscious and things, and they care about what people think about them. So once Boosie and Jay Prince lost to Duke the jeweler, they felt some type of way, and this is what caused them to snake him. They just seen Duke the jeweler as a lick at that point, because they were like, man, he got 600K and he a business owner, and we have to rap and we have to keep doing shows and we have to keep making music and everything like that. But Duke the jeweler, he got a business that he could move in silence and make millions of dollars every weekend selling to these rappers who want to blow their money on iced out chains and all this stuff. So once they got salty about that, this is when they started orchestrating a plot to take out Duke the jeweler. It's not a coincidence that he ended up getting hit up literally at Boosie's concert in the parking garage. He was trying to get up out of there. He realized that Jay Prince Jr. and Boosie were not going to buy any jewelry. So once he realized that, he figured out that it was all a setup. They got him down here. He's got 600K in his pocket. He's got $1 million of jewelry in the little cases and the jewelry boxes and stuff. And, his car is right there, and he's got to get out of town, and there's only an hour, 30 minutes left of the concert. So he was like, yeah, they're not about to do the jewelry deal after the concert. If anything, he would have bought the chain and then wore it on stage. So once he realized that Boosie was just setting up a play for him to get a stained, this is when Duke the jeweler grabbed his keys. And when he grabbed his keys, that's when the security guard tried to block the door. They tried to not let him out. He was going out and everything, and they were not trying to let him leave. They were like, nah, Boosie said you got to stay, da-da-da-da-da. We got to flick up. We got to take the group pic, or he wants to still get a bracelet. He still wants a ring or a watch. And Duke the jeweler was like, nah, he might want that, but I'm trying to leave. It is over with. He had his chance to get the jewelry. This seems fishy. And at this point, it's just like, you know what? If he really about that, he could send the money or send a deposit, and now I'll have the jewelry. He could pick it up in one of them stores. He could go shop with Johnny Dang if he wants to act like that. And so once it got to that point, Duke the jeweler knew that it was on, that he had to get to his car before anybody found out that he was going to leave with the $600,000 and the $1 million of jewelry. Then all of a sudden, he's walking, and that's when you see the club promoter. The club promoter sticks his foot in the door. He's on the phone telling somebody that Duke the jeweler's going this way. He went to the right. He went down the ramp. Then that's when you see the black pickup truck come squeeze, like tires screeching around the corner. They shut all the lights off. When you see a car driving slow and they shut all the lights off in a dark place, that means there's something about to happen or something's going on. Like it's something shady they're trying to hide or they're trying to do something at that moment. So Duke the jeweler, the hairs on the back of his neck stand up. He knew something was around him that was a threat. He knew something was imminent that was about to happen. So he sees the truck. He sees the back window roll down and the guy sticks a hand out and he has a black piece of metal. Then that's when the CCTV footage shows that it was like shots fired and everything like that. And the club promoter closed the door back and held it closed so that Duke the jeweler couldn't get back in there. And that's when he called Boosie and told him, they got Duke the jeweler. So the club promoter runs up, grabs the chains off his neck, grabs all his stuff, gives it to the people in the black truck, and then they call for the Amber Lamb. So once they call the Amber Lamb, they call it Boosie, sending the pictures, telling him, "Oh, Duke the jeweler got hit, We don't see no jewelry with him." So when the 12 showed up in the inventory report, they put that Duke the jeweler did not have any money or jewelry in his possession when he got hit up. But the CCTV footage shows him walking with the Louis bag. It was a $20,000 Louis bag that had all the jewelry in it, all the money from the dice game, all the earnings and everything like that. And that's how you know somebody hit him up and they took that bag, they took the jewelry and the cash because they knew that somebody had wanted that. And so when 12 showed up, all of that stuff was already gone. They already took it and stole it. So they had nothing to put in the evidence report. And so at the end of the day, it was all basically a sting operation, a setup to try to get Duke the jeweler for the jewelry and the money because he beat all the street dudes in the dice game. And they got mad and salty about somebody being able to beat them. And you know how it goes, right? So at the end of the day, it's a revolving door situation. Let me know what y'all think about this. If you a fan of Duke the jeweler, put RP Duke, put the diamonds for Duke the jeweler, and let me know what y'all think, man. Peace.